Hey y'all, it's me Salia Marie 1243, your fairy tarot sister. Upgraded wand if you guys haven't seen it yet. Fresh nails if you haven't seen it. It's giving Frozen. It's giving Let It Go. But today I am here with a really good pick a card. I'm very excited about this. I've been wanting to do this one for a while now. But the time never seems right to do it until today. So this is going to be a message from your past life. So past life readings are some of my favorite readings that I do because I get really cool information and you guys are able to, because they're experiences that are usually parallel to your current life, you guys can tell me really cool synchronicities about the information that I'm getting and how it relates to this lifetime. So what you guys will be doing is, of course, picking one or multiple cards, whichever resonate with you. Piles, it'll be down below, the timestamps, and I'll be giving you messages from your past life. Now, because this video is timeless and it may be seen by many people, keep in mind that this is a very general reading, right? It's very general. I might not give specifics, or if I do give specifics, they might not apply to everybody watching. The best way to get really good information on your past lives is to either get a reading or look into your past lives yourself. If you want a past life reading, you guys know where to find me. All the information is linked below. You can book on my website. And oh, you know what? I'll go ahead and throw in a discount code if you're still listening to this intro. So if you guys would like a few dollars off of a past life reading, you can use the code all caps Akashic, and that will give you a couple dollars off of your past life reading. Okay? And we may go deeper into whatever comes out, and chances are we'll go over other ones because usually in my sessions we do more than one lifetime, just depending on what spirit wants. Okay, so without further ado, let's get into the piles just so you guys know what crystals they are. This is pile 1, so this is orange calcite. This is pile 2, we have blue lace agate. And we have pile 3, which is actually blue goldstone. It looks kind of blackish, darkish, but it's blue goldstone. Okay, so pick your pile and I'll see you there. Hey, pile 1, let's get some messages from your past life. Okay, so what we have for you is the poet. It is upright. I'm taking upright in reversal. So what I see is that you were a poet. You were somebody who is very artistic. You were somebody who is very good in this past life with your words. I feel like a lot of you may have been singers, poets, just something with your voice, mostly something with expressing yourself. So that could even be like my painters, my artists, things like that. So the light attribute here is, it says expresses soul insights in symbolic language. So again, that could be painting, that could be drawing, that could be channeling messages, that could be, telling people messages that you got. But I really feel like there's, if you guys hear my voice, it's kind of like changing. There's a lot around your voice being very important, you needing to express yourself. So in that lifetime, you were very expressive, you had a lot to say. So let me pull some more cards and I'll be channeling as well. Some of you guys are very gifted with musical instruments. I'm seeing someone play the piano. I'm hearing the saxophone as well. So in that past life, it could be exactly similar to this life, or it could be completely opposite is what I find. So like sometimes when I tap into people's past life and I'm like, oh, you're a really good singer. They're like, I suck at singing. Your soul, when we incarnate into different lives, chooses the same experiences sometimes, but a lot of times we'll choose different experiences so that we can learn different lessons, just depending on whatever our soul mission is. So expansiveness, it says eternity is far more creative than the rigid, constrained, and exhausted ego. So one thing that I'm getting with this is like you were super, super creative. That's like all you did. I'm actually seeing one of those like swanky people like doing spoken word poetry, like from Extremely Goofy Movie. Or is it Extremely Goofy Movie 2? Yeah, Extremely Goofy Movie. That's number 2 of Goofy Movie. But there's that, is it Maxine? It's another girl, and she's on stage and she's doing like poetry or whatever. Like you were like one of the weirdos, right? You were one of the people who you didn't really care what other people think. You dressed differently, you spoke differently, and you didn't care. It was all divinely inspired. You were just marching to the beat of your own drum. And that was perfect for you. So what this is telling me about your current life, the message is that you're needing to tap more into that energy. You already have that. Even if you are shaking your head right now, you're like, I'm not creative at all, I kind of suck, or some of you might be in like a blockage. Spirit is telling you to let go of what people think about you. I just have a card that fell on the floor. Some of you guys are feeling very anxious about your art, about what you're doing, and Spirit is saying to let that go. Number 7, you guys might be seeing 7s a lot. Personal growth. Let me tune into that. Yeah, I just get in this past life that I'm tuning into for you guys, and of course, remember, it's general, so there's going to be a lot of different things. But overall, you found so much growth in your art, whatever that was, whether that was playing piano, the harp, violin, singing. You found a lot of, yeah, your spirit guides are asking you in this lifetime, your current life, to go further, to push yourself. It feels like in this past life, you were not scared. You had no limits. Like, you knew you didn't have any limits. You just let it go. You used your gifts for good. You encouraged other people to use their gifts. You were inspiring. It's funny. I usually don't take reversals with this deck, but I'm going to take it this way. Moderation is reversed. Some of you guys in this current lifetime, you feel that, you know, you're too out there. You're too weird. Your quirks are too much for people. Nobody's going to get you. And your spirit guides are telling you that's not true. In this past life, you were so strange. You were so strange and creative, but it really worked for you. It helped you to grow. It helped you to meet people. It helped you to live your best life. Sometimes I even get that you were too expansive, right? You were too daring, and that could be why you're scared in this lifetime of being judged, right? You are scared of people judging you, people thinking that you are weird. And so they really want you to get out of your own head right now and really step into your creativity and step into it in a whole new way, right? They really need you to think outside of the box, pay attention to the people around you, to the things around you, because there's messages everywhere is also something that I'm getting. And your creativity is really going to help you unlock your potential in this lifetime. Vulnerability, yeah. Okay. So these two cards, very similar energies. Root chakra, there might be a root chakra blockage that you have currently. But what I'm seeing here is vulnerable, right? It's you guys are being asked to put yourself out there. In this past life, you were fearless. You put yourself out there. You didn't give a beep. You didn't give a beep about what anybody wanted from you or what they expected. You just offered what it was that you were good at, which you have to offer the world. And your spirit guides are telling you to tap into that. With this root chakra card, let me tune into it just to see. I feel somebody's inspiration. Some of you guys, I felt you guys being like, no, but I'm not super creative, or, you know, I've just been in a bad place lately with my creativity, my spirituality, whatever. Your spirit guides are like, for some reason, I feel like somebody's grandmother is coming through. I think for a lot of you in this past life, you were inspired by an older family member. For a lot of you, it was probably a grandmother who was also just weird. Quirky, weird. I'm getting like the grandmother from Moana or the grandmother from Mulan. But it's like, and I'm also getting from this life that like you got to this place where you were like that up until you were old, right? Like Moana's grandma says, she's like, I'm the village crazy lady. You know, she doesn't care what anybody think. And she was right, right? She said, when I die, I'm going to come back as one of these. And she was pointing to the stingrays or manta rays or whatever they were. And she came back as one of those. So you guys aren't crazy. Your spirit guides want you to know you're not crazy. You're only weird to the people who are not on the same frequency as you. So find other people on the same frequency. Find people who are your tribe. And even before that, just express yourself. The only way that you're going to be able to make those connections is if you're truly allowing yourself to be yourself. And if you've come across a lot of fake people, a lot of judgmental people, it's going to be shadow work for you to kind of let those things go. Yes, look at that. Express your truth. A lot of you are supposed to be writing books. You are supposed to be writing poetry. You're supposed to be selling your art. You're supposed to be teaching people things. Your throat chakra, expressing your truth. I love this. Do you see the synchronicity? Hello, poet. And then starseer. So your spirit guides are really wanting you to keep climbing. You have not reached the tip of your potential yet. You have not. There's so much more expanding that you have to do. And it's going to feel so good after you just get out of this little rut and you just go for it. So challenge yourself to create something every day, not for the purpose of anybody else, but just for yourself. And don't limit yourself. Don't feel like you're being too much. You are just enough. I hope that this message made sense for you. Let me know if it did down in the comments. Thank you for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one. Hey, pile 2, my blue lace agate pile. Let's see what your messages are from your past life. Okay, so I'm taking reversals in this. We have Pioneer and it's reversed. So we're going to read the shadow attribute. I really love this deck. This is the Archetype cards by Caroline Miss. It's really good for readings like this. But anyways, the shadow attribute, compulsive need to keep moving on. So what I see you being in this past life that I'm tapping into is someone who you never really settle. You're someone who has to keep moving on before you even really figure out the first thing. It's like you can't stay still. A lot of you guys, I'm getting very like anxious, energetic energy where you're like bouncing off of walls. Some of you guys might have like ADHD. You might be neurospicy. And so you have this tendency to kind of skip steps. And sometimes it feels like it worked for you, but a lot of times it feels like it didn't. Okay, so let's see what else we got about that. Shoes. For some reason, I just got shoes. And so a good reference for what kind of personality you might have had is if you guys have seen Holes with Shia LaBeouf, his dad, the guy who is trying to find the cure for stinky feet. But the same way that you're like that, but it's like the thing about him is he never gave up, but you would like give up and then you'd move on to something else. You'd be like, okay, well, I want to do this. And you're like, oh, that didn't work. I want to do this. But it's not that you couldn't find the answer. It's that you never stuck with anything long enough. So for a lot of you, I feel like this could be a message that you're needing to stick with what you originally set out to. You're giving up too soon. But let's see what other messages kind of come from that. forgiveness reversed, and yeah, forgiveness reversed is interesting. I just did a podcast episode on forgiveness and the 3 different types. If you haven't listened to that, do that. And then reversed, spiritual partnership. So it also feels like in this past life, you have a partner, a spiritual partner that you did not, there's unresolved feelings. There's healing that needs to happen in your heart chakra is what I'm getting specifically. I'm seeing the color green. It's kind of flooding through my third eye. Your spiritual partnership and forgiveness reversed. Sorry, I'm just channeling into this. It feels like this is a past life, right? But it feels like you might also have, some of you are in a relationship with, or were in a relationship with somebody that was in your past life as well. If you know what I'm talking about, comment down below so we can get like the synchronicities of how this is working. But it really feels like there's something that you haven't forgiven somebody for. And for some of you, if there's somebody in your life where you just don't know why either you're holding something against them or they're holding something against you, it happened in a past life. There may have been some wrong that happened in a past life, or it could have also been a situation where you feel like you gave up too soon. So this is really going to be too for my people who feel like they've stayed in a relationship. It feels like to me that you could have stayed in a relationship way longer than you needed to in this life, because in this past life you feel like you left too soon, if that makes sense. True offering comes here. Is little kid hands. So this could also be something that isn't necessarily a partnership like a romance. This could also be with like a sibling. But it says true offering takes what can be an unbearable cross and returns it to love. So yeah, again, it's kind of like the forgiveness thing. Whew, just cards. Acceptance. Radical acceptance in the now opens the flow. So it feels like there is some forgiveness that you need to give yourself. I would definitely listen to that podcast episode about the types of forgiveness. Deepening. Once you're on earth for enough lifetimes, funny because we're doing past life stuff. Once you're on earth for enough lifetimes, your old soul will begin to long for non-grasping, detachment, and surrender. They bring the peace of God. So what I'm getting is some of you guys could be healing things or need to heal things from your relationship. If you are starting to feel non-detachment from people who have wronged you in the past or things like that, that is a good sign that you're healing. And so on the opposite end of that spectrum, if you guys feel like you are still very triggered by people that you have forgiven, and I do forgiven in quotes because, you know, if you're still hanging on to it, maybe you haven't forgiven them as much. Okay, so your spirit guides are asking you to find some forgiveness. There's just been a lot of past life issues with, you know, oh, I've done this for too long, I'm giving up. So now in this current life, you're wanting to stay too long, longer than you should. So it's like two extremes of the same coin. Let's see. What other messages do we need? Yeah, I'm seeing a frog. I'm seeing this need to cleanse yourself from somebody's energy. Somebody still could be living in your head rent-free. We have Mount Shasta. Ooh. Third eye chakra and the violet flame. So a lot of, whew, my throat. There's a lot of blue energy. Let me take a sip of water. Some of you guys might need to drink more water as well. This kind of looks like water to me too. For some of you, you are Arcturian. I don't know if that has to do with this lifetime, but this is just past life information overall. You lived on the planet Arcturus, where all the people are blue. But let me see what this is. Some of you guys have been communicating with someone telepathically or in your dreams, or they've been trying to communicate with you telepathically or in your dreams. If they keep just popping up for no reason, that's probably what it is. You might be seeing, glimpses of them. They might be seeing glimpses of you. If that person's energy is unwanted, please cleanse yourself. Give yourself a cleansing, and then also do some work around forgiveness and acceptance of the situation. Because I just feel like there's lingering energy, because in that past life you feel like you gave up too early. But now it's like you could also think the same thing in this life. It could be, oh, well, I gave up on that relationship too early, whatever, and your spirit guides are like, no, you did not. But there is shadow work still to be done if you're kind of feeling that way. So I hope that this is making sense. I'm going to pull another card. Ooh, so many. Right now, and it's okay. What did I say? Y'all need an energetic clearing. This is Kalima. This says, during crisis, the Holy One herself may be emptying you of fear and attachments, preparing you to receive her luminous plan. So they're really wanting you, your spirit guides are really wanting you to let go. And for some of you guys, this might not even be in this current life. You guys could probably really use a past life clearing session or like a soul retrieval. That is something that I'm going to be doing upcoming in 2023. I haven't officially announced that until now, so that's exciting. But you guys will be able to see that on my calendar, where I will be doing deep, like, soul cleansing, clearing of your karma from those past lives, so that it breaks up the karma in this lifetime and makes it a little bit easier on your path, so you can work through the shadow work you have going on currently. Okay, so I hope that that has made sense. If you guys, if that past life clearing sounds like something that you guys would be interested in, please watch out for my calendar come 2023. It'll be a service that I offer on my website, and you guys can book with me there. I hope that this was helpful. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye. Hey, pile 3, all the people who chose the blue goldstone. This is the messages from your past life. Let's tap into it. Okay. All right. Here we go. Here we go. So we have prostitute. And because it was reversed, I'm going to take reversals in this so I understand whether I'm paying attention to the light attributes or the shadow attributes. So the shadow attributes here, it says places material considerations and security above self-empowerment. So some of you guys might have literally been one of these. You might have literally been one of these in your past life, or you might have just been in an industry. So honestly, I'm getting a lot of corn directors possibly, but really in a place where, and let me make a disclaimer and say, like, there's nothing wrong with working in those types of industries, but just like with any industry, anything at all, there are light attributes and there are shadow attributes, but we're going to be focusing on the shadow attributes of this. And I do think it goes beyond just this title, because it basically is talking about placing material things over yourself. So if you have been very, very focused on the material things in your life, it feels like in your past life you got really, really caught up in material things. I'll give an example. For me, a blockage that I have in this lifetime, my current life, is I have a really hard time selling things to people because I feel really gross for doing it. Now, that's difficult for me because I'm an entrepreneur, right? And I think a lot of you guys will hear me all the time be like, oh, this link in bio, you know, the classic, like, influencer creator kind of things, but it really takes a lot for me to say those things sometimes. I found out that I had a past life where I was a really grimy salesman. I say grimy because I did not care. All I cared about was money and how I could get it. I didn't care who I took advantage of, who I lied to. So even though I am not that same person, obviously in this lifetime, I'm still holding on to a lot of that energy from that past life, and I am starting to clear it out. In the other pile, if you happen to watch it, or if you didn't happen to watch it, I'll say, I just talked about how I'm going to be doing past life energy clearings and like soul retrievals. I'm going to start doing that in 2023. It's going to be really good. So if you feel like you need one of those sessions, we go deep into your past lives and help heal these things so that we can clear those blockages in this lifetime. So I just felt like I need to say that. Here we go. Relationship change. Individuality reverse. Okay. So one thing I'm also getting from these cards, some of you guys may be dealing with like a twin flame relationship. You could be dealing with a high level soulmate. I say the twin flame thing because this 11 stuck out to me, but relationship change. It could just be like after a breakup for you in this past life, you just said, F it. I'm just out here in these streets. I don't care. F love. Like, I'm getting a lot of that. And you were just worried about the material things. And so that doesn't have to be your experience in this current lifetime, but Spirit is telling you not to focus so much on the material. I did a message on TikTok I think like yesterday, from the day I'm filming this, of course, but I channeled a message about needing to be careful about what you manifest, because some of you guys may be manifesting and saying like, oh, okay, well, my goals for next year, I want 10,000 followers. But your spirit guides are like, okay, but do we want to rearrange that a little bit better, where you're not just focused on a number amount and that's hollow? What are you teaching these people? What are you wanting to share with the world? Focus more on the intentions underlying. Do not manifest from your ego. Like, okay, I'm manifesting $1 million. Why? You know what I mean? Why such an extreme amount, right? What are you going to do with it? Are you going to pay your rent? Do you know how to manage $1 million, right? A lot of us are manifesting money, and we don't even know how to take care of the $100 that we had. You know what I'm saying? So that may or may not be you, but those are just messages that I'm really getting from this past life. Let's see, what other messages do we have from this past life? Divine flow, intuition. I get that you guys might hesitate, or you might not trust your intuition. Love reverse. That's so interesting. So I feel like in this past life, you were heartbroken. You were heartbroken, and then instead of, healing, you turn to material possessions. It's like, okay, well, I don't need love because I have a big house and I have a nice car, and that's all that really matters in life. And Spirit is like, no, that's not true. It might be nice to have those things, but love is what we ultimately are all looking for. And if you are looking for it in your material possessions, if you're looking for it in your follower count, if you're looking for it, even from somebody who doesn't really care about you, then that can be a problem. So let me get a couple more cards. Crown chakra, that's funny. So there's a lot about your needing to follow your intuition. Some of you guys are really intuitive and you just don't trust it. And that could also be from something that you experienced in a past life. Paradigm shift. I think you guys have been having a lot of dreams about your past life. So that could be a really big confirmation for some of you as well. Sorry, something something just popped up, but I'm gonna pull one more card for you guys just to get the last. Woo, so many cards, so many cards. It feels like you guys might be very you guys might feel very disconnected from yourself and really not know where to go, and it just feels like you might be careful of burying yourself in possessions, material possessions. I just pulled these cards. I didn't even mean to, but they pulled your solar plexus. This is funny because if you guys relate to the message that I gave about my past life and being like grimy and whatever, that has affected my solar plexus, right? It has, and your solar plexus is yellow, so this card coming out is crazy. You guys might have a solar plexus blockage. And it might not necessarily be that situation. I would have to read you specifically to know, but there are things that you can do to work and clear your solar plexus. I can help you guys clear it out through like a deep session or something like that I'm going to be offering next year. But this is something that you guys need to be aware of, especially if you've been feeling like depressed, if you've been feeling unmotivated, or the only thing that motivates you is money or financial things. Like there's something that you want to do, but you just can't. If you're feeling depressed, if you feel like your flame is kind of out, your solar plexus is blocked, and so it needs some healing. All right, so I hope that this was helpful for you guys. Thank you for listening, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.